What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Obsession. I'm Carl Duffy.
And Mike Stadler.
We've got another question from you guys. This one's kind of interesting, Mike. It's acorns, are they important? And are they worth hunting? Here in southern Wisconsin, we got a lot of acorn trees, or oaks.
Correct.
But we've got multiple types of oaks, too. So there's bur oak, and red oak, and black oak, and pin oak, and red oak, white oak.
White oak.
So, white oak, bur oak, any of the rounded leaf oak trees are actually the more desirable ones for deer.
For sure.
And the pin oaks, the pointed leaves, the red oaks, those will actually lay on the ground a little bit before deer will eat them. If they have a choice to eat, they either white oak or red oak, they'll do that.
Yes, for sure.
So, on both of our properties, we have oak trees. Do you think you have to have oak trees to shoot deer on your property?
No.
No. I agree 100% on that. Matter of fact, honestly, I'd prefer not to have too many oaks. And here's why. Number one, they shade out a lot of space. So I don't have a lot of undergrowth if I have a bunch of oaks. I've heard people talk about, now listen, Mike. I've heard people talk a lot about hunting whitetails on an oak savanna. Those two words, oak savanna and whitetail also, don't go together. Oak savannas, where there's some undergrowth and oak trees, don't hold a lot of whitetails.
No.
They may come in there and feed in the dark.
You know what they do hold?
What's that?
Squirrels.
They got a lot of squirrel. Yeah, we do have a lot of squirrel. Yeah, right. Now we can get into that. There's gray, there's red. Okay, we don't even want to talk about that. But for me, oak trees and acorns are not a necessity.
I consider them a bonus, I guess,
Yeah.
when they're on the ground. I have a lot of big oaks
Yes, you
here
do.
that drop a lot of acorns. I don't have anything set to like hunt the acorns on the ground.
Yep.
They'll browse them here and there.
Right.
You know, pick them up when they're walking through. The squirrels destroy them.
Right.
More than anything,
Yep.
you know. I mean, they're nice because they're just a little bonus. They really are. They're like a bonus food that you don't have to do anything for.
Pretty much.
Really, to me.
Right. But you don't like your woods and mine are very diverse.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I have a lot of, which doesn't really help me sometimes, are all the maple trees I have.
Yeah.
But your woods is phenomenal. You have oaks, you have pines, you have elm, you have basswood, you have ironwood, you have hickory nuts. You've got a diversity of hardwoods and soft with the pines, and a few cedars in there too, I think.
Yeah, a couple of them in there, yeah.
Yep. That helps nothing. That's nothing but deer habitat.
Yeah.
Where, if you have just pines, or you have just oaks, or you have just maples, or something like that, you start to have undergrowth issues. You don't have side cover.
Yeah, you can't get anything in them.
Nothing.
Yeah, can't get nothing in them.
So, oak trees to me, acorns are just like what you said. Here's the other thing about acorns. So, near my place, right by the house where I hunt, there's a lot of bur oak, and they drop bur oak or rounded leaf oak trees, drop big white acorns. And it's unpredictable how many nuts each tree is going to produce. And the drop time. And I've shot a lot of deer on that hillside, you know that.
Oh, yeah.
But the predictability of the acorns is something that's hard. Last year, for some reason, I didn't see a lot of acorns where I had trees that would usually drop because we had a drought here in southern Wisconsin. I don't know what your acorn crop was like here, but fair.
It was all right.
We had quite a bit of rain early.
Yeah.
So, but the way I judge my acorns is those great big white oaks in my front yard.
No.
Either my driveway looks like a gravel driveway,
Mm-hmm.
or there's no acorns at all.
Right.
So 1 year or 2 years in a row, a tree could drop, and then the very next 3 years it might not drop.
Yeah.
Because those are mature oaks, big. I mean,
Right. Big.
And I think the same is in the woods. You can't hunt whitetails based off of acorns.
No.
Not easily.
I mean, I think the only way, are they worth hunting is if you can't hunt anything else.
Agreed. And here in southern Wisconsin, there's always something
there's always
else.
something else.
Now, if you're up north, it might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Where it's big woods, stuff like that. Minnesota, in the big woods areas, acorns. The other part about that is you have to scout.
Yeah.
You have to scout trees.
If your food is a lot more scarce, or if you're way back in somewhere, and all of a sudden, hey, there's a little grove of, white oaks.
Yep.
But you're back somewhere.
Right.
And they're all over the ground. Obviously, that could be beneficial to you at that point.
Right. And 9 times out of 10, if you're hunting oaks, and I'm not gonna say I never have, because when I first started hunting, I thought, oh my God, this is great. We're gonna hunt oak trees, and I would scout. I would scout oak trees, and look up at the trees. I'm like, oh, this tree has whatever, and I would mark it down on a map. Like, okay, I got to go in there, and you would go in there and you check it, and there'd be deer scat on the ground. So now they're feeding on acorns. So is it a bad place to hunt? That's probably a pretty good place to hunt. Now, are you going to shoot a buck there? Well, not necessarily. The hard part about doing that is, you find that the does are bedded not too far from where that oak tree is.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, you can educate the deer pretty quickly there too. But are they worth hunting? If you want to take the time to scout them, I'm not saying you're going to shoot a big buck on a oak tree.
Yeah.
Public land, like you said, way back, because we both hunted public.
Yeah.
You hunted a lot of public when you were younger.
Yeah.
It can be productive.
I would say, if you could find something set back in there's a lot of marshland around here that is public land, and there's lots of little islands, and you could find little groves of oaks on those islands. They're 100% beneficial to hunt then, because some of those deer will only come in and feed in there because it's so secluded, but like I look over here and I got some oaks standing, big deal. It's a cornfield.
Right.
Exactly. They eat the corn.
Yeah.
Maybe they pick up an acorn here or there, but
yeah.
So I think it's what you got around you.
Yeah, it's pretty much your area. If that's all you have to hunt, oaks will be productive. If you've got food plots and stuff around, chances are the oaks aren't near as productive, and the majority of your acorns are picked up by squirrels.
I got some squirrels.
Squirrels you have.
Yes,
Squirrels I have too. But I think that's how we kind of feel about acorns. So hopefully that answered your question. For us, acorns, it's not a necessity. It's not something we're going to take time to scout and hunt, at least on our property.
It's a bonus. It's not a tree I'm going to cut down.
No.
I'm going to say that. Nope. That tree's never coming down.
The only time I would cut down a bigger oak is if for some reason I needed to, it was covering too much space.
Yeah.
And I wanted to
gotta get your
undergrowth going. And 9 times out of 10, there'll be 10 or 12 smaller oaks underneath that tree.
Yeah.
So that's how we feel about oak trees. Hopefully that answered you guys' question. Thanks for listening to The Obsession. We appreciate all the questions you guys give us. You get a chance to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. It's Rush Outdoors WI. Also check us out on our RSS feed at The Obsession or on Spotify at The Obsession. We appreciate you guys listening.